Black Sherif one this is Shatta Wale I want the album no so an can trend it.
Which Uber bread. Papada.
Now Beka Blacko asem. Wale this ya mama
can
you album can one quite about the Blacko dropping.
Black Sherif, that was a mission on about 10 years. And son, I was a diamond, sir. But if he wants to humble himself, he can buy some within 2 months now.
Black Sherif never dissed Shatta, Wale, Nemo, the Where Them Boys song off the Iron Boy album. Specifically, track number 10 was a direct diss to Kwesi and Fameye. This is according to a detailed and well-explained breakdown. Our TikToker known as Phyronic, Ediato out.
It's quite standard for a rapper to start this song by throwing general shots at the industry. Everybody gets something to say, but nobody wants to practice. It's all general. Then he goes ahead to say this. Texting me phone something to saying now he's being specific. He's talking about one person. And who could that person be? He goes ahead to drop more clues. Years ago, I'd be so impressed because I gave my love and enough respect. This is not me saying this, but it's not a secret. Blacko, when he was coming up, was heavily inspired by Kwesi. There are tweets from back in the day of Blacko expressing his admiration for Kwesi and how much he'd love to be on song with him. In fact, there's a video of Blacko where he was rapping exactly like Kwesi. Again, this is not me inciting beef. This is just me connecting the dots from afar. So for Blacko to go from him being heavily inspired by and so respectful of Kwesi to him now being unimpressed by a text from him, to him sidelining Kwesi when he gets asked on interviews about who his personal favorites are, something must have happened. So what could have possibly happened? That's what he goes ahead to explain in the next couple of lines. Ganging up and tagging teams. What? Talking beans, talking on me. What? With the cowboy from AliExpress. What? So this person who used to be his idol is now ganging up in a tag team with another person who Blacko describes as a cowboy from AliExpress.
So a few days, weeks, months ago, NHS Black Sherif dropped the Iron Boy album, which is doing very, very well. Abuana Manenya BET nomination. Now, off that album, track number 10, there was this song known as Where Them Boys. Breakdowns said this song was a direct diss to Shatta, cowboy from AliExpress or Kikan, same big Kikan Adrin. Well, everyone was fueling. He said this beef and Koso, Senebeya, the industry. Papi beef, him say Ghana there's a beef regardless of the situation. Once say end and physical there, it becomes very, very interesting. So, a lot of people were pushing, say Shatta should respond. Well, Shatta, SWV, what he did was instead promote Black Sherif's album, saying he says Black Sherif didn't mention his name. As long as he didn't mention his name, that Shatta, Chidudu, or Donny, he is okay. Now, there is this TikToker who is making a lot of sense. In fact, the breakdown they are two out was very, very detailed, interesting, and well explained. According to him, this song was a diss to Kwesi and Fameye instead of Shatta Wale. So I say Blacko SWV Obi and Obi Adrin Ankoso. Well, in case you doubt, say this song wasn't a diss to Kwesi or Fameye. Name it was a direct diss to Shatta Wale. Mama, you can share that video. All credit to Phyronic on TikTok.
What I'm about to say in this video might blow your mind or change the way you listen to Where Them Boys forever. Now everyone is talking, oh, he threw shots at Kwesi, he threw shots at Shatta, he threw shots at Stoneboy, he threw shots at Fameye. I have a theory that the Where Them Boys song is not about 4 artists, it's not about 5 artists. It's only about 2 artists. I'm a man of science, and if I have a theory, what do? I try to disprove it as much as I can, and if I'm unable to, then I have no option now to accept it as true. I'm going to leave whether the theory is true or not up to you guys, for you to tell me, making it seem like I try cause beef where there's none. These are just observations I've made from the sidelines as a fan of the music and culture. Now let's delve into the song. Where Them Boys starts just like any other rap this song. It's quite standard for a rapper to start this song by throwing general shots at the industry. Everybody gets something to say, but nobody wants to practice. It's all general. Then he goes ahead to say this, texting me phone something to saying, now he's being specific. He's talking about one person. And who could that person be? He goes ahead to drop more clues. Years ago, I'd be so impressed because I gave my love and enough respect. This is not me saying this, but it's not a secret. Blacko, when he was coming up, was heavily inspired by Kwesi. There are tweets from back in the day of Blacko expressing his admiration for Kwesi and how much he'd love to be on the song with him. In fact, there's a video of Blacko where he was rapping exactly like Kwesi. Again, this is not me inciting beef. This is just me connecting the dots from afar. So for Blacko to go from him being heavily inspired by and so respectful of Kwesi to him now being unimpressed by a text from him, to him sidelining Kwesi when he gets asked on interviews about who his personal favorites are, something must have happened. So what could have possibly happened? That's what he goes ahead to explain in the next couple of lines. Ganging up and tagging teams. What? Talking beans, talking on me. What? With the cowboy from AliExpress. What? So this person who used to be his idol is now ganging up in a tag team with another person who Blacko describes as a cowboy from AliExpress. A very big So who is this cowboy from AliExpress? People have been saying that, oh, since Blacko had an online feud with Shatta and the song dropped afterwards and Shatta was dressed as a cowboy in his Gringo video, that line is for Shatta. But wait, this same Blacko said the album was done way back in July.
And that's why I don't drop the album, because the album I finished everything like July. I'm not gonna lie you. I fly go South Africa, we go shoot the things like May, June, July.
Meanwhile, the whole thing with Shatta started in late October, which was months after he had turned in the album. So this couldn't possibly be Shatta. Plus, Blacko throwed Shatta back on his Snapchat and stuff. So that whole thing was done and dusted. He wasn't going to put it again in a song. So if it wasn't Shatta, then who was it? Let's keep going. Tell your boy have to keep that verse. Carry doing splendid. Dreams to be like you and Fameye. If you had any doubt in your heart about who this idol turned rival is to Blacko, just one line should clear things up. Tell your boy have to keep that verse. We were all in this Ghana here when we saw behind the scenes footage of Kwesi shooting a music video with Blacko, which by the way everyone was anticipating because it's something the streets need. But I'm sorry to tell you that song is never dropping. Forget. Monto my dream. But there's still one mystery left. Who is this person that Blacko is accusing Kwesi of going to form a tag team with and to be talking on him? With that, we move on to the second verse. Here your man is saying it's cheaper and easier to talk than to be a believer. And yes, I am Messiah for him, Peter. Again, this is not me saying this, but Fameye has been calling himself Peter for a while. And this all began when he started to draw inspiration from a more spiritual side of himself, while drawing influence from the Bible to present himself as a messenger, one who preaches his gospel through his music. You can tell from his outfits and his performances on stage that this whole Peter phase is just Fameye embodying this Messiah figure in Ghanaian music. From songs like Praise and Not God to his albums Songs of Peter and 3 Times of Peter, which by the way, 2 dope albums. If you have not listened to any of them, go and do so right now. But then we all know who the Messiah is, right? Jesus Christ. Not Peter. If anything at all, Peter even lied when asked about his association with the Messiah. So it seems to be like what Blacko is trying to say is that why do you say you are the Messiah and yet you call yourself Peter? Basically, it seems to me like what Blacko is trying to say to Fameye is that at the end of the day, let me give you some more context. Artists tap inspiration from different places all the time. Blacko even did it himself for his new album. He tapped inspiration from Amachi Day with the whole Iron Boy thing. And you could see it in how he was moving, how he was dressing. You see him dressing in these metallic looking clothes, especially for the Iron Boy cover arts, with all these metals in his braids and on his ear. He's embodying the concept of the Iron Boy, just so daddy ni pankasa. This brings us back to that line in the first verse where he talks about someone linking up with a cowboy from AliExpress and talking about him. We all know AliExpress can sometimes be a market for inferior goods, right? Where you might order one thing and receive an entirely different thing. So this line is not about an actual cowboy, but about someone who is trying so hard to be someone else and it's not working. And this makes more sense when you look at the chorus. Counterfeiting boys and the wannabes. And also, get this, let's come back to the tell your boy have to keep that verse line. Guess who else has a song with Black Sherif and has decided not to release it? That's right, Fameye. A couple of years back, Fameye posted this unreleased song with Black Sherif and announced that he was going to drop it in less than 10 days. Less than 10 days. The date had been picked out and everything. And then all of a sudden, the song doesn't drop and everyone forgets about it and moves on. Isn't this weird to you guys? It's no secret that Kwesi and Black It's no secret that Kwesi Arthur and Fameye have a great relationship, and it doesn't sound like a reach to say that the two artists went to sit somewhere and said some things about Blacko that he heard. That was why he was like, oh, you said I heard. If you listen to the song throughout, Blacko is just mad about two people saying something about him that he heard, that he was disappointed because he obviously looked up to the two people I was talking about. For him to make a song about it should tell you just how much he cares about all that happened. But what could have possibly happened that would make Blacko go from admiration to now dropping a diss song? What could have possibly happened that would make Kwesi Arthur link up with Fameye and, I don't know, say whatever they said about Blacko, which he ended up hearing? For that, let me take you back in time a bit. Right up until March of 2023, Blacko and Kwesi seemed to have a very good relationship. Kwesi would drop a song and Blacko would tweet it. Blacko would drop a song and Kwesi would tweet it. They would wish each other on their birthdays. But then all of a sudden, on March 3rd, 2023, Kwesi Arthur drops this song to Big Homie Flea titled Pain Interlude. And then just 5 days later, Big Homie Flea took to his ex and posted this. You let these mere mortals get in your head like I switched up on you. The plan was to shed light on another youth from the trenches. He came from the tree we planted. He was one of us. The sky was big enough for everybody to fly high. We was about to F the streets up with this one, shaking my effing head, booking heart emoji, mending heart emoji. And guess what video was posted along with that tweet? A snippet from the music video of Kwesi and Blacko performing that song they did that is never coming out. With Big Homie Flea on the song doing his usual thing.
Top of the top, cream of the crop, rise to the top.
And look at this too. Big Homie Flea posted a line from Kwesi Arthur's Colors which says, "We'll be on any time, open and never envy mankind." And Big Homie Flea was like, "You really panicked, shaking my head, folded like a beach chair. If you feel like putting on another YN will block your shine. It means it was never really him. We'll be on any time, so I envy that boy. I know it wasn't you though, you just let the quick one as the stories get to you. This still hurts, but you know me, I'm a charger to the game and keep it play at all times. Wounded lion will bleed, but I never go chop grass. Still got love for you in my heart, baby bro. And when the truth finally comes to light, hope them YNs laughing with you for coming at me, gonna cry with you. Just know that I already forgave you. Business is business. I'm always standing on my 10 toes, man said that." This screenshot was posted on October 4th, 2023. And just 5 days later, guess what happened? Kwesi Arthur came to tweet, "I want to apologize to Kojo aka Homie Flea for the lyrics in Pain Interlude, which was released earlier this year by myself. I hope this message finds you well. Hashtag all love." What does this look like to you? It looks to me like Kwesi Arthur felt betrayed that Big Homie Flea was diverting his attention to Black Sherif, who Kwesi Arthur felt threatened by. And rightfully so. I mean, the two of them dropped albums in 2022, and let me ask you, which one of the two albums performed better? I'm not asking about which one of them was the better album, but which one of them performed better in terms of numbers. I mean, half of Kwesi's tape was Afrobeats. Meanwhile, the entire Blacko album was hip-hop, but it still did way more numbers than Son of Jacob ever did. It comes to a point in hip-hop where whoever is on top sees an emerging artist and knows immediately that this is the artist who is going to take my place. Just like Blacko is on top now, when he sees an emerging artist who is coming for his throne, he will know immediately, way before the listeners notice and way before it actually happens. But isn't it better to have your replacements on your side instead of against you? I guess that was what Big Homie Flea was trying to do, but Kwesi Arthur took it the wrong way. And I guess it also didn't help matters when Big Homie decided to do that intro for Blacko's second sermon music video. Plus, Kwesi and Ground Up had a much anticipated album on their hands waiting to drop, so I get that Kwesi may feel some way about all of this, which I don't blame him at all for. Hip-hop is incredibly competitive, and even the Fameye that Kwesi Arthur allegedly linked up with to say whatever they said about Blacko, if he had turned out to be primarily a hip-hop artist like Kwesi and Blacko are, I'm not sure him and Kwesi Arthur would have had that much of a great relationship, much less to talk about the two of them ganging up in a tag team to, I don't know, weave a plot against Blacko. So yeah, fast forward to November 2023, Blacko came to tweet, "I love Kwesi Arthur so much, I wish you knew." And then 2 days later, Kwesi came to post a similar thing, saying he loves Blacko so much, he wishes he knew. Which all seemed to me like this one big final act of showing love to themselves publicly, because all that public love they were showing to each other stopped then. That was the end of it all. All those sharing each other's music, wishing each other on their birthdays, that was the end of it all. Also get this, Fameye announced he was going to drop his collaboration with Blacko in less than 10 days, right? Look when Fameye made that announcement, and look when Blacko came to make that post. Those were just 7 days apart. And then the song never dropped. Something definitely happened. I'm almost choking up as I say this because this is so very sad to me. Bema soon, but Bema is naturally, Charlie. So what do you think? Did I prove my theory? I'll leave that to you to decide. Also, do you guys think Kwesi and Fameye will reply to the song?
So do you agree? Say it was a diss to Shatta Wale, or it was instead a diss to Kwesi Arthur and Fameye? Throw under the comment section. So this is actually a story, a trendy, a war, social media. So what do you have to see? Kindly write under the comment box for us. Yeah, that's CP.
Vimbaz TV.